What is the purpose of this video, Dad?
Avani, there are some pranayama that can really help people in making their lungs strong and clean. In this video, I am explaining how a pranayama called Kapalbhati pranayama can help us cleaning our lungs by removing the viral and toxic particles out from the lungs. If more people know the science and physics behind this pranayama regarding how this can help us cleaning our lungs, more people will do this pranayama and can be benefited. And especially this is true in the current crisis of COVID-19.
How do you perform Kapalbhati, Dad?
Arjun, performing Kapalbhati is about doing forced breath outs by involving diaphragm. For the beginners, it may not be spontaneous and easy because the diaphragm movement may not come automatically. So what we can do is we can pretend as if we are blowing our nose gently like this. So this involves the diaphragmic movement. So what you do then is repeat this kind of breathing for maybe 10 to 20 times like this. Basically, this completes your one set of Kapalbhati pranayama. And at the end, what you do is you slowly inhale and then feel your belly, pause for maybe of the count of 3 to 4 and then exhale. That way your muscles will be relaxed. So this completes one set of Kapalbhati pranayama. Important thing to know in this pranayama is that the diaphragm gets activated and it helps to do these forced and repeated breath outs. So that is the most important part of this pranayama. You should always do soft and mild forced breath outs. Do not do more stronger and very rapid forced breath outs. Remember, soft and mild forced breath outs. So once you do this, you will be completing your one set of Kapalbhati pranayama.
How is it useful in the current COVID-19 crisis, Dad?
Well, it is very useful. We have talked about washing and cleaning our hands. At the same time, we must do our best to clean our lungs as well. As I explained before, the science tells us that this pranayama can help us reducing the viral and toxic particles from the lungs before they can go into the lung tissue. Reducing viral and other toxic concentration from lung means making viral attack weaker and giving our lungs more strength to fight the virus. Therefore, the strategy of cleaning and strengthening our lung is very important. So there are 4 things we must do to fight the COVID-19 crisis. One is washing and cleaning our hands. Second, of course, maintaining social distance. Third is putting face mask on. And fourth is doing this pranayama, the Kapalbhati pranayama, and other exercise regularly to make our lungs clean and strong. I personally recommend to do Kapalbhati at least 5 to 10 minutes in the morning before breakfast and in the evening before dinner.
What is the physics behind this and how does it help our lungs?
Look at this picture of honey. These are lungs. When we breathe in fresh air, the fresh air passes through nose and all the way through trachea and bronchi, it reaches to alveoli, which are tiny spherical air sacs. It has a porous membrane um, which allows oxygen to diffuse into the capillaries, and then carbon dioxide gas again diffuses out from the capillaries into the area inside the alveoli, in this spherical area, where when we breathe out, the alveoli squeeze and the air passes through trachea and comes out through the nose. This is the regular breathing process. Now when we do Kapalbhati pranayama, we do this forced breathe out, and the air is pushed out from the lung forcefully with high speed then when we breathe in. So when we breathe out, the air has high drag force because it has high speed, and when we breathe in this pranayama, the air has somewhat smaller volume, and the speed that it goes through trachea is also smaller speed. So therefore, breathe out. So in breathe out has high drag outward, and breathe in has low drag inward. So outward is this direction, of course, inward is this direction. So this is happening because when we do this forced diaphragmic breathing, we push large amount of air in short amount of time outward. That would need high speed to pass through this trachea. High speed means high drag. And when we breathe in, the breathing takes place naturally, passively. So it breathes in small amount of air. That means it would take lesser speed or the smaller speed to pass through the trachea in Kapalbhati pranayama. So therefore, what is happening here is, for example, say the trachea. So this is the enlarged view of trachea. Here I am showing the upward drag by this black arrow and the downward drag by this blue arrow. So the downward drag is smaller and upward drag is larger. For example, say we did 15 forced breathe outs in a one set of Kapalbhati, then what is going to happen is in one breath out, the drag is this much, that's outward drag, and then inward drag is this much. So there is a net upward drag of this much amount. So we can see that. So from here to here we have net upward drag in one forced breath out. So then you are doing, for example, in this case 15 forced breath out means you are basically dragging this little by little upward, like this, like this, like this, and eventually it comes out through the nose. So I mean, it looks simple, but it's definitely very helpful and powerful mechanism to clean the lungs. Basically simple breathing technique. You don't have to eat any medication. Just do your Kapalabhati pranayama and you will be helping a lot to clean your lungs. I wanted to point out a few important things about Kapalabhati pranayama. What Kapalabhati pranayama, what makes Kapalabhati pranayama special and important in cleaning lungs is that it can provide this outward drag this region, which is much more than the inward drag when we do the Kapalbhati pranayama. For example, if we do say 15 sets of forced breathe out like this, for example, so you notice in between these forced breathe out, there is a passive breathing in. So as a result, you see there is high speed when the air goes out from this bronchi through trachea into the nose. High speed means high drag. When the air comes in, it comes passively. Therefore, there is low speed. Low speed means low drag. So there is net outward or the upward drag when we do the Kapalbhati pranayama. Now, this when we apply this net outward force or the drag effect with the functioning of this ciliated cell in the lining of trachea, what we can say that it helps this cleaning of lungs to become more rapid, because so these ciliated cell have this wavy motion, and by that motion they slowly drag and push the mucus and other toxic particles attached in the mucus outward towards trachea and to the throat, and where you can throw that out, spit out. So now this, when we have created this upward drag by doing Kapalabhati, basically we help this ciliated cell to rapidly clean the lungs. Therefore, the job of this lining of the trachea becomes much more easier and effective in cleaning lungs. Therefore, I think Kapalbhati pranayama is very useful in cleaning lungs, especially at this time when we have this crisis of COVID-19. And finally, I wanted to point out a couple of things. One thing is, this video is prepared based on my personal experience and knowledge. This is not a medical advice. I have put some known facts behind science and physics with functioning of Kapalbhati pranayama, and put together this video so that it makes sense for the people to watch this video and understand how it is effective in cleaning our lungs. That way, once we understand the science and physics behind the effect of Kapalbhati in cleaning our lung, then maybe more people will be convinced and they will do Kapalbhati and clean their lungs and get benefit from this. That's the main reason of putting this video online. Now, the online source I used to learn this pranayama is through the video prepared and provided by Baba Ramdev. He has provided a lot of resources in yoga and pranayama. One should definitely refer to those online videos. And the second resource is, which is a very good resource, is from Harvard Health Publishing, which has provided a lot of good tips in breathing and meditation techniques. Finally, thank you so much for watching this video. Please stay safe.